Good Wednesday morning. Thanks for joining us on KARE 11 News Now. I'm Michelle Beck. The snow has mostly stopped, but be weather aware when you head out the door today. Nasty winds will be blowing through at least midday today. That'll blow snow and it could create icy spots out on the road. Also make sure to bundle up. It'll feel like the teens out there when you factor in the wind. We'll check in with the weather team in just a little bit. Right now we are tracking reports of power outages across the state. This one in Excelsior, Minnesota, caused by a tree taking down power lines just before 11 p.m. Their power has been restored. Meanwhile, there's a few hundred people without power across the state right now, according to the Xcel Energy outage map. Crews are working to restore power just as we speak. Brand new video just into the newsroom today showing a truck nearly hitting a state trooper on a snowy road in North Dakota. You can see it here, the troopers squad on the side of this highway outside of Harwood and troopers in the ditch helping people who are stuck. That's when a truck slides off the road, nearly hitting the troopers outside of their car. Incredibly, no one was hurt. Really incredible video there. Some travelers are dealing with a headache today at MSP. A few dozen flights are delayed and 5 have been outright canceled. Airport officials say today will be the busiest day before Thanksgiving. AAA predicts more than 6 million people across the U.S. will fly out for the holiday. That's 2% more compared to last year. At MSP, officials expect nearly 47,000 passengers today. It'll be even busier on Sunday with 49,000 travelers heading home. Things are pretty smooth so far. The best thing you can do is to make sure to check your flight status before heading out. 90% of Americans who are traveling will be driving instead of flying. That's 73 million people behind the wheel, a million more than last Thanksgiving. Take a look now at this. A stretch of I-94 near Moorhead opening in the last few hours after a massive pileup last night. You can see several jackknifed semis. State Patrol is reporting hundreds of crashes across the state as of 10 p.m. last night. We're also following breaking news from overnight. Right now, a man is in the hospital after being shot by a deputy in a Monticello neighborhood last night. The scene unfolding on Golf Course Road, just 30 minutes west of the metro. Audrey Russo joins us with the details.
Yeah, we know that this was a 911 call that brought officers to the scene last night. Now you can see behind me the scene is clear, but take a look at this video from Golf Course Road. This is what our crews captured when we arrived shortly after 2:30 this morning. You can see the BCA on scene. There are deputies walking with canine units, the handful of evidence markers from what we could see. Now the Wright County Sheriff's Department tells us that it all started just before 9 o'clock last night when 911 callers reported a man with a large knife walking down the road yelling. When deputies arrived on scene, they asked the man to stop. He continued to move towards them. They tried their taser. That didn't work, so one of the deputies pulled out their gun and shot the man. Now, the Wright County Sheriff says that man was given first aid and was brought to the hospital where he's now in stable condition. The deputies involved in this incident are on critical incident leave, which is pretty standard protocol in situations like this. But the Wright County Sheriff does tell us that they were wearing body cameras and that they were activated, so they are likely to be combing through that video to see exactly what circumstances led up to the situation. But again, this is what we know out here in Monticello. Back to you.
And now for the second time in a week, a wave of federal agents carried out an operation in St. Paul. This is video from around noon yesterday outside a home on Rose Avenue East. You can see protesters gathering, clashing with agents and police as officers used chemical irritants on the crowd.
Okay. Started spraying.
St. Paul police is doing that.
And it wasn't doing the spray, it was doing the little squirts.
I was walking over and recording my phone, and he pushed me and pepper sprayed me.
Now, we can confirm at this time at least one person from inside the home was taken into custody. Mayor Melvin Carter says he does not know all the details of the federal operation, but he is ordering a thorough review on the conduct of St. Paul police.
I am deeply concerned about some of the complaints that I've heard today, about some of the allegations that I've heard today, and about some of the videos that I've seen today.
In a video statement, St. Paul Police Chief Axel Henry says his department does not conduct immigration enforcement, but will always work to ensure the safety of protesters and agents. Mayor Carter saying St. Paul Police did not arrest anyone, but may have cited a couple of people. This morning, the family of Mariah Samuels is applauding new upgraded charges against the man accused of killing her. David Wright is now charged with first-degree murder, which carries an automatic life sentence if he is found guilty. Mariah had a domestic abuse order for protection against Wright, and hours before she was shot and killed, she posted on Facebook that Wright was stalking her. Mariah's family is happy with the new charge, but still believes she'd be alive if police had done more to protect her.
The message that I want to be out there is, if you want to commit domestic violence against a woman or against anyone, against your partner in Minnesota, and it results in the death of another, you will be indicted. You will face first-degree murder charges.
Wright has been convicted in the past of domestic assault. According to the criminal complaint, he admitted to police that he killed Mariah. Right now, a man is in the hospital after a police shooting in Plymouth during a domestic disturbance call. Plymouth police say it happened at 4:30 Tuesday morning at an apartment complex on Quinwood Lane, just off of 494. They say they were called for a man knocking on a window. Police say an officer confronted a man in a parking lot who they say had a gun. At some point, the officer shot the man. He was then taken to the hospital where police say he is in stable condition. The officer wasn't hurt and is now on standard administrative leave. The BCA is investigating. Happening today, President Trump is sending his top envoy to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin to try and get a peace deal done between his country and Ukraine. U.S. officials say Ukraine has agreed to the conditions of a revised Trump-backed peace plan that pares down some concessions to Russia. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
Hi there. President Trump says the parties are going back and forth over land divisions and working with European allies on security guarantees for Ukraine. And after pushing for a peace deal by Thanksgiving, he now says the date will be in the near future. Fresh off meetings on the war in Ukraine between top Trump officials and a Russian delegation in the United Arab Emirates, President Trump projecting optimism that a long-sought peace deal could be near.
We're having good talks. We won't know for a little while, but we're making progress.
That after posting that tremendous progress has been made after an original proposal that was widely criticized for being too favorable to Russia was, quote, fine-tuned with input from both sides.
That was not a plan, it was a concept.
One U.S. official telling NBC News the Ukrainians have all but agreed to an updated peace deal, with the White House saying there are a few delicate but not insurmountable details to work out. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky pointed to adjustments made after U.S.-Ukraine negotiations in Geneva.
That framework is on the table, and we are ready to move forward.
Russia, though, is threatening to walk away because of those changes to the original proposal that initially called for Ukraine to give up a fifth of its territory, shrink its military, and back down from entering NATO, all red lines for Ukraine. President Trump now saying he's sending a top envoy to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin, with other officials going to Ukraine, while offering this blunt assessment.
Look, this war could go on for years. And Russia's got a lot more people, got a lot more soldiers, you know. So I think if Ukraine can make a deal, it's a good thing. I think it's great for both.
The president adding he would meet with Putin and Zelensky only after a deal is reached. The U.S. Army Secretary delivered an even more grim assessment while meeting with officials in Ukraine, according to two sources with knowledge of the matter, who say the secretary warned Ukraine faced imminent battlefield defeat and should negotiate now. Ukraine's president has said his country will not stand down until Russia shuts down its war machine. In Washington, I'm Alice Barr. Back to you.
New this morning, the Olympics are a step closer. A ceremony lighting the official Olympic flame just wrapped up in ancient Olympia. Even Greece can't escape the bad weather, and the ceremony was forced indoors. The clouds, however, broke just enough, and organizers lit the flame with a concave mirror, a tradition dating back 2,800 years. After a short tour of Greece, the flame will start a 63-day journey through all 110 Italian provinces before reaching Milan to start the games in February. Stick with us. More news and weather are coming up after the break.